Welcome back and join me as we build this little grove complete with 5 lodges. Let's jump into the video, shall we? Welcome back to another video by myself, Blob. And so soon after the last one, I'll be honest, I felt awful for changing the project and then making the first episode of this project a car park. So basically I got home yesterday and thought, do you know what? I'm going to start working on this next bit so that I can give you something to kickstart your week on the Monday off with hopefully a bang. So that's what you're going to be seeing here today. In the background here, I was going to cut this, but I thought I'd leave it in purely for the fact that none of this stays. And I just wanted to show that all of us, even those who do this as like content creation, we do go through these trial and error phases where we'll place stuff down. We'd sort of take a bit of a step back and look at it and just think, yeah, this is not very good, and we do delete it. So I was going to cut this bit, but I thought, you know what, I'll leave it in for the purposes of showing that we are human and we're not just plonking all these pieces down correctly at the first time of asking. So that's what this is going to be here. I do settle with this sort of round, you'll see me using the mud wall technique here, or mud pillar technique rather, at the back here. Place like a whole circle at the back, and then I delete it and block it off with bollards. This is probably going to be where the entrance is going to be, but I think, again, at the time of recording this today, Frontier are going to be doing a special live stream, which usually means that they'll like do a few teaser bits. It's usually quite a fun experience to sit there and to watch them do this stuff, so I'll be definitely watching that later on today. But yeah, I think while we're still unsure about what the gift shop is going to be about, I'm going to leave this for the time being. So I thought to myself, what could I be doing instead? And then I remembered, obviously, one of the USPs of this place, unique selling points, is going to be the fact that there's going to be on-site lodgings and such. So I thought, let's get one of the little groves done. This isn't going to be all of the lodgings that are going to be available. This is just going to sort of be the cheap standard package. There will be other lodgings, but they're going to be, I'm going to try and make it so that they're adjacent to habitats so that you can see the animals in there while you're sort of going about your business in the evenings, or like while you're sort of chilling in like a living room. There could be like a window where a jaguar might potentially walk past the window every now and then. So that's sort of going to be what the more luxury side of things, but this is going to be your sort of bog standard package, if that's really what you want to call it. So you see me leveling the terrain out here so that I can put paths underneath all of this this concrete, and this is going to be where the grove is going to be situated, in this section here. And again, you can see me doing the foliage work here, mainly going to be beech oak trees at the back, and then it will be sort of reinforced with some custard trees, saltworts, that sort of thing. And then I start working on a pathway. So I do this sort of slalom singular path and then delete sections in the middle where I then do a round sort of human roundabout, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. And then I do these sort of 5 different branches coming off of the those roundabouts. And then you're going to be seeing me doing a whole load of foliage here. Shallow buffalo grass close to the edges of the path here, and then basically as you get further away from the path, I start to raise the buffalo grass so that it has this like more thicker, lush appearance. And I pretty much cover this whole dirt area with buffalo grass, and scatter some bits in and amongst it here. There's going to be a few trees, there's going to be some rocks, there's going to be some poppies, buttercups, nettles, all sorts of things, but you'll see that as we jump further in. But here I am just placing bulk amounts of buffalo grass, and then putting some quite close to the edges of the path and putting them in the path. This path is something that I'm going to be changing. I do change it to the natural path, but I've used the one with the planks to the side of the path, but I think I'm actually going to be changing it. I think I'm going to be doing an episode at some point where it's going to be a maintenance episode where I just basically go around and show you what little things that I've changed throughout the builds, and I think this is going to be one of them. I think I'm going to change it to a different natural path, probably one with the little stumps, the little nubs that come out of the ground, because I did want that sort of natural feel to it. So here you can see me placing something a bit different, some oak trees, an ash tree, and then deleting the foliage around the base and just using blue stems and rocks just to sort of break up the monotony of the buffalo grass. Okay, and here I am now building the lodge. I'm going to be building one and then basically copying and pasting it. This is going to be the reference that I'm going to be using. I found it on Pinterest. It's from I think it's from somewhere called 5 Acres in Victoria, so Australia. And I really like the vibe of it. I kind of like the idea that the park used to have these wooden lodgings, and basically a wealthy investor from Australia came over and said that he loved the whole experience, but he wasn't a fan of the accommodation and invested some money in the sanctuary to be able to upgrade those facilities. And this is sort of the result of that, obviously. Given that this is like a reference image from Australia, it kind of makes sense that this person would invest and sort of give them maybe like an idea of the sort of things that he's stayed in that would maybe be a good fit. So it's going to be purely this black corrugated iron on the outside, and then on the inside of the porch type thing we have this wood, and then the base being a dark wood as well. I'm going to be putting stairs in, and then I'm going to be making some signs basically saying that if you are someone who is in a wheelchair, or maybe you've got like a pushchair or something like that, if you've brought kids, then if you speak to someone at reception, then they'll be able to help you out with that. Similar to how trains in the UK work, if you're someone who is in a wheelchair or a mobility scooter, basically if you're getting the train, you speak to someone on the station platform and they will arrange to get ramps set up at either end for you so that you can embark the train. So that's kind of the idea here. I was going to do a ramp, but I wasn't sure at first. I thought I could work it this way instead. But the rest of the park will be hopefully more accessible and stuff like that. So it's just where these are like raised up on stilts, and I just thought to myself, I think just having the ramp, whereas it would be a bit easier to do it a bit like that. Here you can see me just putting in some little details on the front with some wood trim on the roof, and then running along the very top of the roof as well. We've got big double windows with the door on the right hand side, using the bracket piece as a handle, and then we put a little railing in here as well, just using the marquee beams and I think these are like the New World pieces or New World planks. And here you can see me just doing like the stairway again. Like I say, if people did need help getting up and down, then help can be arranged by the team here at P.A.W.S. I did have a little bit of issue because I did the stairs at first and then realized that there were these absolutely huge gaps in between, so I had to sort of rejig things around here just so that they all linked up correctly and didn't look a bit wonky. And then I changed some of the stair colors so that they don't all look the same as well. So yeah, these aren't the most amazing lodges you'll ever see in your life, but again, these are part of sort of like what we would call the basic package. Again, there'll be other lodges that are going to be adjacent and they're going to be a little bit bigger. I might even do interiors for those because obviously I want to be sort of like secret indoor viewing, if that makes sense. So it kind of means be a bit pointless if I put a lodge and then do these fake windows on the side, but you not be able to see the view that the guests would see. So I think that's why I've opted for going with just like these rabbit holes, if that's what you want to call them. Like these aren't going to have interiors. So I think that's why I've opted for that on this occasion. And then I'll do, for the other lodges, the more premium lodges, I think I'll do actual interiors so that you can see what's going on inside. And you can see the view of the animals while you're inside the lodge as well. Even if I just do one room, I think that'll be able to sort of sell what I'm trying to sell here. Not quite sure why I did this. I was sort of thinking to myself, I was going to put the lock in, but then I thought to myself, no, I like the idea of this like investor wanting things to be a bit more modern, so I thought we'll do like a keypad where you get given a password, and those passwords are sort of like reset every 3 days, or every time a guest leaves the site, then obviously those passwords are regenerated and given out to the next set of guests that come along. So, and then there's just some trim, there's an aircon unit, and then these like wood paneling bits on the side as well. I do add some solar panels as well. I was trying to think of something I could put on the roof, like a little maybe like chimney type thing, so that they could have like wood burners inside of the lodges as well, and it's still something I'm kind of toying with the idea of, and then doing like a little wood pile in them, like on this little camp somewhere that people can just go and collect wood to be able to put into their log burners in their cabins. The rest of the video is basically just going to be me doing some foliage work and some fine little details toward the end. There's going to be some solar panels put on the roof of these lodges. They can be found on my workshop. They're quite low piece count, but there's like a small, medium, and a large variant as well. I end up using some of the pointed signs to help name the lodges as well. I was going to give them just numbers, but I decided in the end to go with some cat-themed names, just to help people guide them to their lodges. More creosote bushes here, as you can see. Absolutely adore these with a passion. One of my favourite pieces of foliage in the game right now, and using them at every opportunity I can get. Goldenrod's also something that I found myself using a little bit recently. You can see me placing sort of like a large patch of them at the back here. I really do think they work well when you place them in large patches, so maybe something to look at doing when you're doing your builds as well. You can see me doing this path here with the planks around the edges, and again, I think this is something that I'm just going to be completely changing. I don't like how they look at all. I'd rather use the ones with the little nubs around the edge, or rather just use the null paths, because yeah, I think the longer I look at them, the more I don't like them. More workshop items here from me. We've got the my tree defenders, if that's what you want to call them, just a combination of the logs and the mesh pieces to help defend trees from any animals that might walk onto the site. This is still in the wild after all, so there's every opportunity that animals could walk in and sort of damage trees by scratching on them and stuff like that. And then you've got the log, just a bit of decor. We've got some of the lamps as well, and then some terrain paint, using the sand here to mark out where the paths are, coarse sand just to sort of scatter in the texture there, and then using the light dirt texture to blend the sand in with the dark dirt texture that is already on the ground, and then using the short grass texture underneath the large patches of buffalo grass just to make it look a bit more lush and not show the dirt underneath that. Not sure what I make of these trees that I'm placing here. They might be something I'll replace at a later date, those tall ones with the orange tips on the leaves. I do find that some of the foliage in this game does have questionable textures. And then basically I put this is literally going to be temporary as can be. It's going to be just a wall blocking off the campsite so that I can later date do like a wooden archway with maybe like an iron gate that people are able to get access to when they check in and get their code for their lodging. So it's just temporary, and I will be replacing it with something at a later date when I do the entrance. Here you can see me placing some speakers as well. In these speakers, I've got some ambient, like woodland noises from the UK. So at the end, I've got like a little still where I'll just be me standing there, and you can hear those noises that I put in the game, just so that you get an idea of the ambience that provides here. Benches as well placed down, and then some. These are the signs that I was talking about. So just one at the start marking out that the lodges are this way, and then I put down several other signs just showing you to the different types of lodges. So we've got Tiger Lodge, Lion Lodge, Snow Leopard, Lynx, and Jaguar Lodge. They're going to be the 5 lodges here. And then I think we'll have, when we do the premium lodges, I think we'll call them, like, we'll name them after the animals that are going to be based in those lodges as well, just to make it a little bit more personalised for those that do come up with some names for any big cats that are placed in this. But that is going to be me winding down the episode now. I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone for watching this and their support on all the other videos leading up to this. And I will catch you all in the next one, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of this video. And at the end, we got the still so that you can get an idea of the ambience. But thank you for watching. Peace out. Bye-bye.